Hi Aquarius, and welcome to August 2022. This read is for Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. And oh my gosh, it's August. All right, what is going on with the beautiful stars of the zodiac? I'm using which you are a star. I'm using the Gilded Tarot Royale for the general, like I always do, with the light seers. More narrative, insight, etc., clarity. And then I just got Karma Oracle cards that it kind of just envelops the whole storyline. It's absolutely beautiful. And what's most important to know is that we are on the 3D earth plane of learning our karmic lessons and moving forward and clearing that pathway to higher consciousness. And in order to do so, we are, in order to ascend to a higher consciousness, we must be able to be received in the gates of heaven as karmic free. But if that doesn't happen, if we do have more karmic debt to pay, that will turn out in another lifetime, and or in this lifetime that you're playing out certain patterns that are over and over again, right? That's what happens. So let me take these cards as they just flew out for my beautiful Aquarians, right? Wow, look at this. Are you kidding me? Someone else got the Sun card. I'm trying to think. I think it was Virgo or Taurus. I don't know. I can't remember, but someone got the beautiful illumination of self-awareness, happiness, great happiness. All the stars are aligning. It could be Aries. All the stars are Aries or Taurus, aligning, right? It's time. Everything aligns when it's God's timing, not necessarily our 3D, right? Yeah, and so it is. Time is now. It's a wake-up call. The wake-up call. The call to see something in a new light, right? It's time for all of the... Gosh, this is moving. So I feel like you've been kind of on a roller coaster of up and down, because when it flew out of my hand, it went in reverse, but we are going to see it as upright, because no matter what is illuminated and is being called to your attention to see, you're going to be just fine in getting through it. Let's see what it is. It's about love. It's about an offering of love. Could be an offering of forgiveness or an ending of a love that, you know, it's like you see something that you didn't see before. I have Scorpio here. I feel strong, Scorpio. It's how I feel. I also feel Leo. I will say that the sign, not so much, as I am using that as the examples of the cards of death and rebirth here. And I feel that, well, this is Leo and this is Scorpio. So somewhere in between the call of some issue of love or giving of your love and or receiving love is being called to your attention on. Is there a death and rebirth in a relationship per se, or is there a physical death and an ascension, or is there a forgiveness of an ending in order to start anew? It's a wake-up call. Someone had to see the light of a new day in order to realize what they've been through. Sometimes we go through stuff And it repeatedly keeps going, like I said, karma, because this is karma. And then someone comes back and says, well, I learned my lesson and I want to try again. And then you go through the whole cycle. So you could be going through cycles and patterns because the karmic ties that bind have not been released wholly, right? So Aquarius, these all came out to the forefront. So this is a wake-up call to either we must transform in order to seek anew within ourselves. Got it? We must understand how death and rebirth happens. It's important, okay, to understand how when something ends, a new begins, but you don't want it to be covered and or tainted in, karmic debt, right? Because you're paying some karmic debt right now with the Judgment and the Death card. It is a karmic issue. So you're transforming. The spirit world is saying, transform the way you see love right now as an acceptance of the death and rebirth stages, right, of life, because that's what life is. It's death and rebirth, right? 12th house being Pisces, which is the Page of Cups. Okay? All right. So let's get more to the narrative from the Light Seers deck of the wake-up call here for Aquarians to change the narrative, if you will, on the patterns that have formed over the course of time, which again, the course of time is big in these readings of head and heart matters, but in this situation, it's about a soulmate that teaches, right? Soulmates teach us what it is we need to learn from. We learn from our loved ones. We learn from our karmic soulmates. Soulmates learn from one another. That's what their purpose is. It's not that we don't end up with soulmates. We do, as we do with twin flames. We don't need to necessarily label it, but when I see that this is all about, look, the stars that guide you, the stars that are guiding you right now is this, Aquarius. It is about forgiveness in love, in life, the death and rebirth of love and how the cycle continues. The pattern and the cycles continue. A soulmate has taught you that, or you taught a soulmate that, but I feel it's really that you're being taught, Aquarius, how the life cycle of love can heal through forgiveness and begin once again. But this is your, like, the wake-up call of how you deal in light of love and being loved. I hope that makes sense. You may have to rewind. King of Swords. Here you are. Right? So your lessons, your transformation is by learning through a soulmate truly how the patterns that have formed over the course of time have come and go. The way love is seen through the eyes of spirit, is what you're learning. You're learning that love comes and goes. It's part of life is love comes and goes, right? It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. Yeah, ascension. someone may be, someone's passing, or it's a past loved one that you have already gone through or will be going through. Sorry, Aquarius, this came out before last month. It did. This could be you're needing to get like a heads up as to life and love as the stages of letting go and receiving, and knowing how when we forgive self and others, we understand the cycle, and we don't take the karmic ties and that bind with us when we are able to forgive. But if the issue is, and the call from Spirit is to understand the cycle of life and death, requires us to forgive not only others but ourselves in the time of passing, in the time of ascension and or ascension. See what I'm saying? If someone is passing or has already passed that was your soulmate, indeed, that is what they're teaching you now with a new relationship that maybe you're in, is the transformation of the cycle of life, of rebirth, of death and rebirth. That's what you're learning, very like one hand and the other, the giving and receiving, okay? The celebration of life. Death and celebration. Soulmate, teachings, lessons, ascension. You're learning this. This is your lesson. And the most important card is in the middle of it all, is forgiveness for self and of others. Wow. It's very to the point here. We're very much to the point. It feels like death and rebirth here. Now, Spirit said, look at the cards on the bottom, the World, the End, and the Queen of Pentacles. You could have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn in your chart. We have a King and a Queen. We have a couple. It's a soulmate. If it's not a physical death and ascension of celebration of life, which it looks like it is, it could be one from, a long time ago, or one that is going to be happening, right? But what the call here is to understand the cycle of life and death. To appreciate, Aquarius, what we have while we have it, right? We must appreciate what we have while we have it. And to sit with grace. Let me keep going with this deck. Knowing that, because I feel bad, our path, knowing that our path will lead us to the place of great happiness and a whole heart again. To be in love wholeheartedly once again. It's kind of like, in a way, it's also, it's also the call from Spirit is I will love again. It is as above, so below. It is a crossing over from this side to the other side. Someone is crossing over. It could be something that has to do with someone's not wanting to tell you. Hold on. It's obviously someone, maybe a father figure, an ex-husband, a husband, someone on the other side, or someone you're living with or with right now that's showing you how important it is to keep your heart open to giving and receiving, whether or not we're together or not, love remains. That's what the lesson is to keep your heart open, to keep your heart at peace, even after someone hasn't been completely and utterly what you thought. So if someone has left your life due to death and a celebration of life, they're guiding you to see the things that have obstructed your vision that needs your attention in order to transform. Another, and I'm going to say it, a death could be just the death of a relationship, in a friendship, in a family members, whatever. But we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, which I feel is another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Aries. And then where did it go? We have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. These are the players who have and or are still showing you it's the call from Spirit to realize that life is, hold on, I'm trying to hold these, I miss my desk, can I tell you? Okay, that life's too short. Someone on the other side, a father figure, a husband, an ex, an uncle, someone very close, a family member that's on the other side is trying to help you through this transformation of saying, listen, life is so short. It's not to be taken for granted. I know it's general, but it's a massive message of life and death and rebirth. And in between is the love that you give to others and how you forgive or don't others. That's the wake-up call. That's the call to love wholly. Holy. This is holy. To love wholly, WHOLE, and HOLY. To transform your love wholly, using both definitions of both words, spelled differently, is what Spirit is saying. To say, to forgive before it's too late. Has it happened already? Well, it could have been Aquarius. It could have been a loved one on the other side that has passed, that things weren't said. More importantly, not forgiven. And when you forgive, you don't have to literally forgive that person in terms of, like, right? They didn't tell you the truth, or they didn't want to say I'm sorry, or they didn't say I'm sorry, but you still have to forgive them. And then when it's over and they're not around, did you forgive yourself? Have you forgiven yourself, Aquarius? Can you forgive others and yourself? as mentioned, the oracle, karmic oracles here is very important that I chose these karma cards, because we must cleanse, especially in this reading. I'm not saying it's not with everyone. We all hold karmic ties, the debt and credit, right? That's what the yin and yang, give and take. We must cleanse that by forgiving others, and it doesn't have to be in the visual sense, just literally forgiving with our hearts and ourselves, forgiving ourselves. Forgive yourself for not wanting to forgive. How's that? And have you received the support that you need from family in order to forgive? And that's what this perhaps unusual way of looking at things may come out in circumstances unbeknownst to you, that something that needs to change, that may be an unexpected change, is going to bring you back to what family means. Unity of the family means is your oracle message. It's about, here's what happens, right? We live our karmic ties, lessons, learning our lessons and forgiving, if we can, to trust again. And when we do so, we can walk this earth, and or we leave this earth knowing that we did the best that we can, and that we've truly felt that by forgiving your family or children or whatever example that sets the tone to show you something through the eyes of spirit in a different perspective. Someone's going to show you that the change that has to take place, you've already felt it be something unexpected, an unexpected change that had happened or has happened or will happen, is going to show you a different way of how you're transforming a situation, how this unexpected change of your perception or an unexpected event that happens, that's going to make you feel the closeness of your home base, who you call your family and your circle of trust. You may have to listen to that again. Yeah? So I really want you to take another minute or two to really assess that cup of love, that page of cups. Take a minute to play back your scenarios, Aquarius, that will provide healing, a sense of learning, a reason to forgive, even though you may not be speaking to this person because they're either on the other side or they've left your life for circumstances unbeknownst to you or beknownst to you, right? Or you know why they left your life, but clearly they left your life and you haven't been able to get past it because other circumstances in your life keep repeating this same pattern. Got it? The way to ascend to a higher consciousness is to not only become innocent as we come into this world, as I mentioned, but also to forgive the self in order to leave this world of what matters. Matters of the heart. I send you so much love, and I am definitely still doing readings and biofeedback, clearing the mind, body, and soul. If you need me, I'm here, and I wish you such a great month of August, and I hope that you can find your heart, in your heart, to forgive. Take care.